Hi guys, welcome to this video. This is a very short and sweet video. We just analyze what is a good score for the CAT 2017 VARC slot 1. What exactly would count as a good score for it? If you look at the scores for the actual normalized scores for this test, so we've just scraped data for different scores. So 99.9 percentile in VARC was at 87, a 99.75 was at 82, 98.5 at 73, 98 it came down to 71, 97 it came down to 65, 95 it came down to 65, 93 came down to 60, 85 percentile we went to 50, 80 percentile, which is the minimum target that you should have. Even if you're super weak in VARC, that is the score that you have to get into good institutes, 46. So you can see that between 99.9 and 80 percentile, there is a 41 mark difference in normalized scores. Since we do not know the exact process of normalization, so we really cannot know the raw score, but you can see that in order to get a good 98 plus score, you need to get a 70 plus in the test, right? So that's got to be your target. That's how this is rough approximation, right? And this is the kind of score that you should be targeting, right? For 80 percentile, so this is for 98 percentile, you get 7, you target 70 plus. For 80 percentile, right, if you start at the bottom, you target 45 plus marks, right? So that's what you've got to target, right? And as you move up 95 percentile, you need to get to 65. So that's the kind of range that you've got to be targeting. 85 percentile, you get up to 50 marks. So this is the gradual progression in marks that you've got to target. In this particular case, this is what you should be targeting here. Going by this approximation, right, 90 percentile would sit in the middle of these two, right? So 90 percentile would be somewhere around 55 marks. So you can see that from 80, where you start at 45, you go up, you keep going up those incremental ladders. 90 you reach around 55, 95 you reach around 65, right? 85 comes in the middle, it comes around about 50, approximately 50. So this is how 98 you make the jump to 70 now, so 3 percentile points only, and you make up that jump. And then if you go up to 99.9, you reach somewhere around 85 plus. So that's the progression in scores that you've got to keep in mind for this particular test. So when you take this test, this is the simplest possible gauge. So just use this gauge to figure out how good your performance is. So that is all that you need to do for this particular test, right? Now, the second thing that you've got to keep in mind here is key pointers for this particular test. The RCs were very doable. The paragraph summary questions were tough. As far as the options goes, the options for these questions were doable, but the way these questions were phrased, the paragraphs themselves, those were pretty tough, right? So they were challenging. Parajumble questions, the 4 parajumble questions, hit and miss questions, tough questions, tough to have accuracy in those. So you can call paragraph summary as moderate. There were lots and lots of easy questions in the RCs in this test, and misfit sentences were easy to solve. So this is where you could have scored in the test. So make sure you tally with this small little analysis. You should have maximized RCs and misfit sentences in this particular test. These are the 2 areas to maximize. Paragraph summary, options were not tough, but since the paragraphs were tough, it can cause problems. Parajumbles, tough to score in this particular test, right? Overall things to keep in mind, time should not be a problem for this test. If you are having that difficulty, if you run out of time for this test, that means that your reading speed and your ability to solve questions is on the slower side, and you need to work on it, because this was a moderate test category, easy to moderate. So this is the category it belongs to. Since it's an easy to moderate test, time, you should not run out of time in this test. So if you are, it indicates that you are solving slower than what is required to. So you need to up your game a little, right? In an easy to moderate test, you should be able to complete this test. Gauge your performance relative to the scores we discussed in the first slide. So relative to those scores, gauge your performance, right? And try to improvise. As far as the analysis for the test goes, make sure you go through the passage analysis videos. We put up those as well, and understand the small little nuances for different passages. You understand the nuances for the different questions. So the videos explaining the answer options and explaining the questions in detail have been put up, as well as passage analysis videos have been put up. So go through all of those videos, go through the CAT 2017 playlist, right? And try to identify which are the mistakes that you've committed in this particular test, right? And try to make sure that you learn as much as you can from this set of videos, right? Thank you very much for watching this video, and happy learning.